Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the Real Talk with Michelle podcast. Welcome back. It is good to be able to chat with you again. You know how I am. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy we're here together. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is episode 57. Real talk about feeling the feels, how emotional pain manifests illness. Listen, I'm always like, these are topics that I can get behind because I go through these things, and I have been through this point in my life where I realize, like, this emotional pain. I feel sick, I'm tired, a lot of things are going on. So I want to just go ahead and dive into this so I can try to keep this within like a certain amount of time, because I just want to share. I don't want to keep you all day. Emotional pain, in psychological pain, mental pain, is defined as one's inner turmoil, being upset, mentally disturbed, and it can cause you to feel broken. You have a feeling of being wounded. There's a loss of self, disconnection, and you start to gain this critical awareness of your negative attributes. So at some point you're starting to like realize all these things about yourself, and it's kind of, bringing this emotional like pain upon you. The pain originates from non-physical sources. It could be a result of grief, regret, loss, depression, anxiety, which I feel like I have suffered a lot of these things over time. I tell people sometimes, I'm like, I feel like I was depressed. I don't really think I had depression so much as I had a long stint with anxiety, and it really just came from like things that I was doing. Well, let's go further. Some of the symptoms of this emotional pain could be deep sorrow, intense distress, isolation, negative emotions, panic, rage, shame, and worthlessness. Like, in the ways that pain can manifest is you can get a change in body temperature, you can become hot, and hot typically goes with upset. I've had some of this myself. I cannot lie. Like, recently, which is why this episode like came to me, was because I had I'm starting to realize, like I said, I'm starting to realize the triggers, and I'm starting to realize like things that happen that cause feeling in my body. And so I had become upset by something that someone said, and I was trying to, and it wasn't what the person was saying. The person was just delivering, and not to even gossip or like give me something, but they were definitely delivering a message to me. And in that moment when I'm sitting there, I'm not seething, but I can feel my body temperature rising. I can feel what was happening in my stomach, and it was just like I turn red. Okay, I have this thing with my ears. It's either an allergy or I'm getting like flustered and upset. My ears turn crazy red. You can feel the blood rushing to them. Like, I can tell when it's happening. Pain can also manifest with your hair shedding, hair loss, digestive problems, ringing in ears, unexplained aches and pains. I've also been there. Skin problems, physical tics, nausea, dizziness, constipation, sleep problems, which is hypersomnia or insomnia. Like, you either can't go to sleep, or you are awake like all the time. Like, you're not, you're not sleeping. Like, insomnia is the worst. I've had insomnia. Geez, I might need to go back to my insomnia days. I'm gonna have to look that up and see what's going on. And you can get tingly arms and hands, like on the top of your arms and hands. I want to get into some of the ways that the emotions go with the actual physical pain, because I feel like some of us don't know when it's happening or what it is. You know, we all try to like run to the doctor and have the doctor tell us to take medicine, and we all know that they really can't give you medicine for this, and they're gonna just, you know, they're not gonna be able to see it in most cases. One is the neck. Like, we've all had neck pain. We've all tried to like ease ourselves out and like relax a little bit. But all in all, like, neck pain is exactly what it sounds like. It's inflexibility, stubbornness. You don't see any alternatives. And exactly what we do with our neck is like we tense up. Like, you're not flexible when your shoulders are in your ears. Like, you're not seeing anywhere you can go. You're being stubborn. It also shows in the shoulders, and the shoulders, which we're saying, like tensing up, that's like an attitude. Like, you're raising yourself. And I find myself doing that like a lot. And I have to tell myself, like, relax your shoulders, be open, because no alternatives means like you're not being open to what's coming to you. And it's an attitude. Also, your spine, your upper spine is feeling unloved, no emotional support, and holding back in love. Okay. Wow. I told you, I learned through love. Like, there's definitely like not a lot of holding back on my end. So the upper part of me is fine. We'll get to like lower. The middle part is stuck in the past. Like, the middle of your spine is stuck in the past and guilt. Lower part of the spine is little financial support and fear of money. Okay. These are things and themes that have been coming up like also recently in my life, and I can tell you, like, if anything hurts on me, it's, you know, typically it's a little lower back stuff, but we're working through those things always. The elbows are accepting new experiences and changing directions in life. The wrists are ease of movement, ease plus movement, you know, ease and movement. And the hips are you don't have anything to move forward to, and fear of moving forward in big decisions. That's kind of another thing with like inflexibility. And knees are pride, ego, fear, not giving in, stubbornness, and inability to bend rules. The ankles represent the capability to receive pleasure, guilt, and inflexibility. We got to get moving. We cannot be inflexible out here. Like, I'm looking over my notes and I'm like, we are not moving. We're just being inflexible. Like, we're not, when we're not moving our body, if this makes sense to you, when we're not moving forward, when we're not processing emotions, when we're not taking care of our spiritual self, then we're inflexible and our body's not moving. Even just in the physical sense, we will hurt, we will ache, because we're meant to move forward, we're meant to keep going, we're meant to be moving individuals. I talk with my hands, okay? I talk with my hands because it makes me feel like I'm moving, I'm doing things. This is forward motion for me. Recording for you is movement for me. Where were we? Listen, they said even if you get like bunions, like, this is like very little joy in facing experience in life. Arthritis is critical, resentment, and you feel unloved. Inflammation is like seeing red, fear, inflamed thinking. I've had some inflammation before. Loss of balance is scattered thinking. Sprains are anger and resistance to move in a certain direction. Stiffness is rigid and stiff thoughts. It's exactly what it is. Listen, during quarantine, I was stiff, but I was also not, like, I couldn't see what the future was gonna hold, like even a little bit. None of us could. So I think like a lot of people I know are saying like they were super stiff and just didn't feel like themselves, and it was because like there was so much uncertainty. We just didn't know what was gonna happen next at all. Weakness is you need mental rest. Lower back pain is feeling unsupported in life. Go figure. I also wanted to talk about emotional energy centers. So our body is full of energy. We're just giant balls of energy. And so I've talked about this before because this is going to go into our chakra system, which a lot of you have been asking me about the necklace that I've been wearing recently. And it is a chakra necklace because I realized that I've owned this necklace for a long time too, but I realized that I had some things that were off balance. And mine was in the root, which I won't start there. Mine was in the throat, but you guys are getting more of my authentic, loving voice because that's what makes me feel better, is talking, because for a while, I told y'all I didn't have anything to say. And if I did say it, you couldn't hear me because I wasn't living in a truth, okay? In the root, we can get into that when we get to it. But our emotional energy centers, our throat chakra is our chakra of communication. It's if your throat chakra feels blocked, you feel you have self-expression issues. You have lack of trust, difficulty expressing your feelings, and you feel an absence of nurturing. Whew. This is like a part of the energy center that corresponds with like burdens and responsibilities. And if there's things in your life that you don't trust, or you have difficulty expressing your feelings and you don't feel nurtured, then chances are you don't speak up for yourself. You don't say anything, you kind of keep to yourself. And if you're having issues with that, you should most certainly like get some healing on your throat chakras. I always go on YouTube and I look up meditations and try to figure out like how I can ground myself in that chakra. When I lost my voice, I told you it was for a spiritual reason. When I lost it, it was for me to figure out, and you'll know, but it was for me to figure out how to speak up for myself, how to say what I wanted, what I needed, how to set boundaries, how to take care of myself, because I am the person that has to take care of me. That was a tough one. I'm happy to say that my voice is here and it's doing its thing. I had like a cough fit, okay? Listen, we don't try to say like over here in spiritual development world, when something like that happens, like I'm talking to you about my throat chakra and like my voice, and it's loud and I feel good, and I all of a sudden went into a cough fit. I had to like stop, pause, like get some water, get back situated. Okay. So for me, that's a go ahead that I'm supposed to tell you this message. Keep talking, they said. Keep chatting. I hope it's not telling me to stop, because I feel like you need this information. Let's move on to the heart chakra. Let's get off that throat chakra. So, the heart chakra, of course, corresponds with that area of your body. It goes with grief, sorrow, sadness, loss. Have you ever just, when that heart hurts, I told you I learned through love. I am one of those people who have felt what it feels like in your heart when it feels like it's breaking. Like it's a feeling, it's a thing. I feel like doctors have said like you can prove this, like heartbreak is a real, like you feel it. You can die from your heart breaking. The heart chakra is also with burdens and responsibilities, and it shows a lack of love, aloneness, embarrassments, shame, and meanness. And that's a tough one. Like, healing your heart chakra might be the one that I found a little bit the toughest, because um, there was so much grief when my father passed. Like, grief, like like I had never felt loss in that way. So it was just a really tough thing for me to heal that. And then and then after you heal that, to like open back up to people and open back up to experiences, because you have pretty much, like, you've been alone, you've been going through like your cycle and like trying to figure out like how to keep going, you know? Yeah. The heart chakra. Let's move on to the solar plexus chakra. This is your fears and your phobias, and this is also like your power, which, you know where this is gonna go. Like, when you feel fear, you feel that in your little belly. You feel that in your belly. This is anger, rage, guilt, and shame. Like, this is where this starts and it originates. It's loss of control, giving away power, and bad relationships. The solar plexus chakra, the fears, giving away power. This is also boundary setting. This is also where we meet boundary setting again. Like, we've got to definitely heal our solar plexus. The sacral chakra is past family, sexual issues, childhood conditioning, violation of body, things taken without permission, sexual abuse, rape, impotence. And this part corresponds with like support, because this is it's right under your belly button. It's by your reproductive system. This is where you go when you feel violated, when you feel hurt. All of the energy rushes there and it blocks it, and that causes all types of fertility issues, pain in the abdomen. All of that like starts in that area. If you've ever had some of those things that I mentioned happen to you, you might need to seek support and talk about your issues, or they're not issues. Talk about the things that happen to you, and get them out, because there's so much healing for us that needs to be done in this part of our body. This also is like where your creative sources come from, because as we know, the divine feminine, the womanly parts of this part of our body, deal with our creative things. I won't say there's no way. There's ways to create through pain, but the best of our creative things come out of our sacral chakra. And I personally felt like I needed to heal some things that happened around there, release them, and the other side of it that came out was me finding my voice again, speaking on truths and letting all that stuff come out. And now I'm doing more of the things that I would really like to do with my creative mind. And it all came from like some sacral chakra healing. I'm going to move on to the last one, which is the one that I was talking about. This is our root chakra, and it's life-threatening fear, just fear, violations relating to surviving, accidents, war, abuse, violence, and this corresponds to like rejection and betrayal. Recently, I had to do some root chakra healing. I did a lot of meditating, a lot of writing and getting things out that I needed to, in order to get this area back moving with positive, good energy. you know when it's, you just know, like, my things that had to do, like, these are not like, this is not like a life-threatening fear. This is a fear that I have to say is difficult for me because as I've told people, like, right now in my life is, I am being the most of who I was always meant to be. And I had a fear of sharing myself authentically because I was taught to play small a little bit. And, you know, when you start to realize, like, I don't want to go too far into my own healing journey, I will share as more as I feel comfortable. But you learning to play small or to not be seen, you know, obviously, you know, I can't really hide very much. I have a very dynamic personality, but the part of me that wanted to come out, the inner child part of me that wanted to come out, is the talker, the person who really did, before she learned to play small, she didn't have to, you know? So anyway, I don't want to get too deep into that, but for me, it was a fear of sharing and coming here, being able to podcast, being able to share my gifts with you, to come, even now, like, I'm recording my podcast, but I'm also videoing my podcast because this is, I have to come out. You have to see me, you have to see my face. This is part of the spiritual work. This is also part of healing my root chakra, is coming face to face and sharing this knowledge with you, sharing the stuff that I find out. And what better way within a community? So here it is. I'm healing my root chakra as we speak. So that's kind of what I wanted to share. I feel like this is just me getting information out to you because I know that this is something that you're going to have to think about. And think about, we know like some things we have to go to the doctor for, but some of this, most of our things originate inside of our body. Like illness, even when it gets to the point where you have to go to the doctor, has come to you because of something else that you have been ignoring. And I'm also reading a book that's about that. And I'm like, I already know this. I figured this out, but I love information. I'm going to keep reading it. He's a doctor, and he wants to deal with people's emotional pain and then treat the illness after they've done some of the work. And it's phenomenal because we have no idea. Like, a lot of us have just been asleep and walking through life. And I'm not saying, like, if you feel like you need medicine for your anxiety, keep taking medicine for your anxiety. For me, for someone who did take medicine for her anxiety, I no longer take it because I figured out the root cause of the anxiety, and I had to attack it. Like, because I couldn't stay in this zone that I was in. I couldn't stay, I hate to call it zombie zone, but I was a zombie. I was completely just, I was going. I was just walking. I was alive, but I wasn't living. And that's a big thing. Like, I was just alive, and now I am living. But we have to get down to the root and figure out what is actually making me feel this pain, this symptom, this, like, what is it? And I'm going to tell you, like, if you're always constantly having stomach problems, like, you're nervous, there's fear. Like, if you're always, you know, in a space of being embarrassed or shamed, like, your heart needs healing. Like, there's so many things. Like, pain in your body is resonating from something else. Let's figure it out. And how can we help heal our emotional body pains? You know, I like to give solutions to everything, or try, because, you know, it's going to take some therapy. It's going to take a whole lot of deep work. And I'm working, I I'm working with someone on this very thing, and I'm creating something else for you guys that I think is going to be a great tool. So, how can we help heal our emotional body pains? You know, I always talk about it. You know, it's my favorite. It's what I do. I journal. I write down every single thing. And I have to tell you, like, sometimes I just start journaling in the middle of the day because sometimes, like I told you, I can live in my brain and I need to get that stuff out. So I write it down. I say what it is that's been, that this thought that creeped into my brain. It came in, it wanted to live there. And I'm like, absolutely not. You're out of here. I'm about to write you on paper, and then I'm going to eat some lunch and I'm going to take a nap. So the next one is to get creative. I told you, like, our little chakras want to play, and especially that sacral chakra. It wants to get creative. It wants to dance. It wants to do everything that it can. And, like, if you like to paint, draw, I do puzzles. I think, but like puzzles are creative to me. Like, you have to use other parts of your brain. It gets me out of the emotional part of, and we need to feel our feels. That's why it was called feeling your feels. Feel the feel and then do something else, okay? Like, recognize it's there because it's asking you to be there. Because when you don't pay attention to it, it's when it turns into the pain. It's when it turns into the illness. So say, hello, paranoia. I have like a little bit of paranoia about things that I have no business even worrying about. So I have to be like, okay, hi there, or hi sadness, I see you. What are you sad about? Write it down and then do something else. Next, I would say therapy and support. Just like I said, you're going to have to talk to somebody and you need to feel supported. And if you don't get support from your friends or your family, then seek external sources. There's everything out there. There's groups that you can join online where everybody has a feeling or everybody's going through the same emotional experience. Join those groups, talk to those people, because people are there to support you. Send me a DM. I'll answer it. I will. Real Talk with Michelle podcast. Send me a DM and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, because you do have support. People are there for you. Self-reflection. This is a big one. This is what I do daily, okay? Because every day I'm learning something new about myself, and we have to sit with ourselves and we have to talk to ourselves and say, self, like, yeah, what's up with you today? Like, what's going on? Reflect, write it down. If you have a moment where you stepped outside of yourself or you're just not feeling really good, talk to you, because you are the person who is going to get you to the next place. Like, it's you. It's really not other people. We really all need a healthy dose of self-reflection all the time. Forgiveness. This is a big one because we hold all this energy in when we don't want to forgive people, and I feel like a lot of people think that forgiveness involves other people. It doesn't. At any moment you want to, you can say, I forgive this person because I'm over it. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. And you don't have to talk to that person ever again. You don't even have to tell this person that you're practicing forgiveness with them. You say it to you, forgive it, so you can move that energy outside of your body, because it's living in there. People want to live in you. They want to take up space in you. And this is why I don't allow people to live inside me. Thank you for your service. You're evicted. Get out. Like, I really do not allow people to take up residence in my body. Like, I just don't. And I just don't. When I tell you that shedding season was shedding season for me. It was like, girl, all these things have to go. And I mourned them and I said goodbye because they can't take up space. So forgiveness is really important so we can evict those people who want to live inside of us and tell them that they can't take up residence here. Period. Practice some relaxation techniques. I take naps. You guys do it however you want to do it, but practice some relaxation techniques. Do something relaxing to you, whether it be going outside, taking a breather, doing some stretching. Just take a moment to yourself and when you start to get those emotional things that are triggering you, and relax. Breathe. Just breathe. Okay? I take a lot of breaths during the day because if I take a breath, then I won't say something crazy to somebody because I'm trying to move out of that. I'm not being reactionatory anymore. Also, exercise. This is not new for me. This is just one that I do. It's great, okay? I'm back on my exercise kick. I'm working out probably 5 days a week. Who am I? I'm a stranger to myself sometimes. I'm back working out. I exercise. Exercise just releases everything in my body that I am feeling. I feel strong. I feel confident. I feel good. You know, when you look good, you feel good. Okay. Identify unhealthy thinking patterns. I told you I am double air. I live in the sky. I live in my brain. And so I have to go in there, take out those unhealthy thinking patterns. Like, girl, what is this? What is this? Where did this thought even come from? And I write it down in my journal and I process it, and that helps me so much because I can take something back. I'm like, this feeling that this is also Scorpio energy, which I'm a Scorpio moon. This feeling of thinking about people betraying you, that's really emotional. That's very Scorpio moon, okay? When the nighttime come around, this feeling about thinking about people betraying you comes from something else. So I like to be like, okay, why do I think that? Why am I always on guard to think that someone is about to like hurt me or betray me? And it comes from past hurts, and then, you know, also something that someone else has done and how that emotion made me feel. So you keep that in there. So you keep reverting back to it, but you have to say, like, I'm breaking this pattern. Everyone is not out to get me. Like, everyone's not out to hurt. Like, you have to trust that the path that you are on is leading you towards good people who want to see you happy and flourish. What if, just say, what if everybody just wanted to see me happy and flourish and live in that energy, okay? And also, we're ridding ourselves of people who will hurt and betray us as we walk forward on our path. We're getting away from people who cause harm to us. We don't have any space for them anymore. So we don't have to live in those unhealthy thinking patterns because we're creating new ones and new experience and better experiences. Sit with your emotions. I don't like this one, but this goes into it. Like, you have to sit with it. This is what I was talking about earlier. You have to acknowledge it so it won't cause you any pain. So, or have your physical symptoms start happening. Sit with that emotion. Sit with that sadness and ask what that sadness wants from you. Sit with your happiness too. Sit with your happiness and be like, wow, I want to create more of this. Sit with that feeling of anxiety and figure out what's causing it. Is it a job? Is it a person? Do you need that job? Can you get another one? Can you get this person away from you? There's endless possibilities to that, so I don't have to keep telling those. But sit with your emotions, process them, get the unhealthy thinking patterns out. Go to your therapist, journal, like all those roll right back into one because you're gonna have to do all of them. You're gonna have to do all 10 of these steps to get through. And with that being said, number 10, look forward, because that's all we're doing. Every single day, we're moving forward into a new experience. Every single day that you wake up and you run through your routines, you run through your cycles, and let's say in my instance, making this podcast, this is propelling me into something else. So when I sit in that energy of like, ooh, I feel this way today, I'm like, all right, so what do we do to change that? We push forward. We go through, we're creating a new experience. We're creating a new job opportunity. We're creating new everything. My life is 100% different than it was 2 years ago. And that's because I know that whatever I'm feeling in this moment that's causing me a little pain is just temporary, because any moment I can flip that switch and say, not anymore, not today, Satan. I'm moving through this. I don't want to deal with this thing anymore. And let's just get ourselves in healthier spaces, because we cannot allow our physical bodies to deteriorate before we get to do the work that we're intended to do. I have things to do. So I'm not going to let this vessel be torn down by mental, emotional things because I control the experience. I don't have to accept bad treatment. I can take myself out of bad treatment. I don't have to accept doing things that other people want me to do. I don't have to accept people coming into my space disrespecting me. I change everything that I don't want by removing something or bringing something else in. And forward motion is the only thing we should be concerned with, because we have things to do, right? Okay. Anyway, I'm going to take a little break and we can hear from our sponsors, and I'll be right back. Hi guys, welcome back to the Real Talk with Michelle podcast. We are talking about feeling the feels. Real talk about how emotional pain manifests into illness. Let's just get back to it. I feel like I've taken up enough time. I want to get into the daily gratitude. This is my favorite part. Today, I am grateful for breathing, breath. I've been doing breath work. I've been having a hard time. I've been having a hard time like aerating. I have like crazy allergies, which I talk about online all the time. I have crazy allergies, and my allergies happen when I go to the gym. I work out. I have exercise-induced rhinitis, and it sucks. And I find myself like I'm not breathing as full. So like I said, my trusty friend YouTube, I get on there, I find breathing exercises, and I've been finding out that I have not been taking in enough breath. You know, I can release breath all day. As you see, I can chat all day, but I'm not breathing in, and that's important too. So I've been doing some breath work, and I can tell like it's making my little abs feel a little different and everything. You know, they're hiding under a little bit of fluff right now, but I can tell that the breath work is helping, and breath work is also important to when I'm doing podcasting. I need to be able to breathe. I need to be able to say things, and you need to be able to hear me, and I don't want to just, be breathing out. I need to breathe in too. And the guest gratitude today comes from my friend Armand. Armand said that he was grateful for his mind. Me too, sometimes. Anyway, but I'm definitely so grateful. Thank you, Armand, for sending that in to me. I am so, so grateful for you for doing that. Again, this episode was Real Talk with Michelle, episode 58. God, I've done something 58 times. Every time I say that, I'm just like, girl, 58 times? Okay, I'm not going to tell you my goal because y'all are going to think like, what? But this is going to be going on for a while, so I hope you guys like it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. I see you on the other side in my analytics, and I'm so grateful for you. I can't even tell you, because you guys are actually listening to this, and I hope that you find value. If there's anything that you want to talk to me about, or if there's something, like I said, I'm here for you. If you want to talk, Okay, I don't always have the best advice. Well, my advice used to be ratchet, but it's better now. Okay, I'm trying to tell you self-improvement things that I'm going through as they come up, and I'm so glad that you tuned into this. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. Make sure that you get with me about anything. Okay, if you're having a hard week, if you're having anything, let's keep these physical bodies healthy as we can. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.